Shalom, family. Blessings to you as we go into the Shabbat and as we go into the Feast of Sukkot, also known as the Feast of Tabernacles or the Feast of Booths or the Feast of Ingathering. All those names are attributed to this time. This is the final of our fall feast days. We started with Yom Teruah, Feast of Trumpets, and then we had Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, and now we're moving into Sukkot. So it's a time of celebration. So we find this at Leviticus chapter 23, and I'll read a little bit here. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 34 says, "Speak to the children of Yisrael, saying, on the 15th day of this 7th new moon is the festival of Sukkot, for 7 days to Yahuah. On the first day is a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. For 7 days you bring an offering made by fire to Yahuah. On the 8th day there shall be a set-apart gathering for you, and you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahuah. It is a closing festival, and you do no servile work." And if you drop down to verse 39, it says, "On the 15th day of the 7th new moon, when you gather in the fruit of the land, celebrate the festival of Yahuah for 7 days. On the first day is a rest, and on the 8th day a rest. And you shall take for yourselves on the first day the fruit of good trees, branches of palm trees, twigs of leafy trees, and willows of the stream, and shall rejoice before Yahuah your Elohim for 7 days. And you shall celebrate it as a festival to Yahuah for 7 days in the year. A law forever in your generations. Celebrate it in the 7th new moon. Dwell in booths for seven days. All who are native born in Yisrael dwell in booths, so that your generations know that I made the children of Yisrael dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahuah, your Elohim." Okay? So the Most High gives this time, and He tells us, to do this so that we know throughout our generations that He made the children of Yisrael to dwell in booths when He brought us out of the land of Mitzrayim. So the feast days, they have a past connotation, they have a past remembrance, and then they have a future, they have a past remembrance, then they have a practical current application to us, and then they have a future fulfillment also. So with this, the Most High starts off by telling us we're doing this to remember the time period when the Most High brought our ancestors out of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt, right? So He brought us out of Egypt, and we dwelled in these temporary dwellings. And during that time period, the Most High tested us. The Most High, He tested our people. He had them dwell in temporary dwellings during this time period as He was working on their hearts and testing their hearts. So this is a time of remembering that season, how the Most High provided for them and kept them during that time period. So He brought them out of the land of Yisrael, land of Mitzrayim, and had them to dwell in these temporary dwellings, these sukkahs. So we look at the word sukkah. It's a samek, kaf, and a hay, and I'll probably post something on my page just going a little bit more into that if you're on my Facebook page. I may post it here too later on the video. But it's very interesting how it kind of breaks down, what the word means. So that's the past, and then during this time right now, we're remembering how the Most High is keeping us while we're in this temporary dwelling. First of all, our bodies are a temporary dwelling. These physical bodies are going to be renewed at some point, but this temple that we have, our temporary temples that we are having, our bodies, our spirit, our soul, our being, the Most High is keeping us in our being as a temporary dwelling while we're in this place that is a temporary dwelling place. Okay, because this is not our home. This is not our land. This is temporary until the Most High brings us into His kingdom, the place where He's going to dwell with us. So He's reminding us that this place is temporary. This is a temporary thing here. So we have to keep that in mind, so that we are walking and seeing how he's providing for us and allowing for him to take us on this journey. Tent is something that's temporary. A sukkah, these things, was they were traveling through out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt, on their way to the promised land. They had to keep moving. It was a journey. It was an onward journey. They didn't have houses like we have houses today. We just settled down in a house. They were nomadic. They moved from place to place, and the Most High kept them in that place. So we're in the same type of journey here now, and so we keep this in remembrance. So this is a time period where we're able to reflect on how he's keeping us during this journey. And it speaks to a future fulfillment prophetically of Messiah, when he's going to come and the Most High's presence is going to come to dwell with us, and the Most High will be with us. So we keep this feast for 7 days. Some believe that the 7 days represents the millennial reign, the 1,000 years when Messiah will be on the earth and the Most High is going to reign through him. And then the 8th day represents the time period after that, because there's that 1,000-year kingdom reign, but then there's that time period after that great 8th day, that time where the Most High is going to dwell with us forever. Okay, so that's how many people believe that representation is. Some believe that the whole Sukkot period is representative of the whole 8th day in the future time period when the Most High, after the millennial reign. So whichever way that you believe, either way, it represents a time of joy when the Most High is going to be dwelling with us, with his presence. It's going to be a time after this, these wicked kingdoms of this earth have fallen, and the Most High is going to be with us. It'll be a time of rejoicing. So that's why he tells us to rejoice during this time. So what does he tell us to do in obedience to this time? First, he says in the scriptures that we read, he said that this is a Sabbath. It's a Shabbat. It's a time of rest. You do no servile work. So this is the first day and the 8th day are Shabbats. They're Sabbaths. So what else? He says to bring an offering made by fire on each day. So each day we're going to bring an offering to the Most High. We're going to offer ourselves to the Most High. Each one of these days we're bringing something. We're bringing ourselves, and we're bringing some type of offering to the Most High on each one of these days. Then it says that where am I here? It says on the first day you take for yourselves the fruit of the fruit of good trees. So it tells us 4 things to bring here. And the first one, it says the fruit of good trees. So we know that, again, this is the season of ingathering. So agriculturally, this is the time of the year where the crops, you're bringing in the crops that you've planted. You're getting the harvest that's coming in during this time. So this is representing the time. It says bringing the fruit of good trees. So we know that a good tree brings forth good fruit, and a bad tree brings forth bad fruit, and the bad tree is going to be cut off because it brings forth bad fruit. So we want to be the good trees that are going to be gathered in during this time period when the Most High comes for us and comes to gather us from the 4 corners. We want to be the good tree that's found to be able to be gathered in. So this time of ingathering. So he tells us to bring in the fruit of good trees, branches of palm trees, twigs of leafy trees, and willows of the stream. And I may do another video just kind of going into those 4 things a little later on. Maybe I'll post something on that. And it says to rejoice before Yahuah. So this is a time of rejoicing. So this festival, we came from Yom Teruah, which is a time of alert and alarm and urgency. And went into Yom Kippur, which was a day of humbling ourselves before the Most High. And now that we've gone through, he's gotten our attention, atonement has been made. So now we enter into his rejoicing. He says, Messiah says that we want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. Enter into my joy. So this is a time where we get to enter into his joy. We get to rejoice before the Most High each of these days. And then the 8th day is a closing festival. It's a Shabbat. And the other things here, it says that we are to dwell in booths for this time period. We're to dwell in booths or sukkahs, tents, in a temporary dwelling. We're to dwell in a temporary dwelling during this time period. So we know we do the best that we can during these feast days. We're in unconventional, inconvenient circumstances, and so we do the best that we can. So if you have been able to go get a campground or go camping or to be in cabins or whatever the case may be, if you're at home with your family, if you have a house and have a yard, you're able to set something up outside. If you have an apartment, do whatever you can do. This year I had planned to be able to go away to actually camping or a cabin or something this year, but I end up having to stay home. So for this year I got a tent. I'm gonna put the tent up I pushed my bed over. I'm gonna put the tent up in my bedroom, and and we're gonna do what it do for the Most High Yah, So we're gonna keep that command by dwelling in that temporary booth for those 7 days. So however the Most High moves on you to do that, don't condemn yourself, don't feel bad, don't feel like you're missing out. Just seek the Most High as to how you are to keep this feast for this year. Each year the Most High shows us something different. He gives us a different understanding, a different emphasis, it's different. It's a different appointment with Him. So just make sure that the important things that you meet with Him for the appointment, meet with Him for this appointment, and rejoice. Rejoice for this time. So read through the scriptures and ask the Most High what you're to do, and just fellowship with Him, and fellowship with whoever else is in your life that you're able to. If you have other awakened brothers and sisters, if your family or those are not awakened, share what you can share, or show the Most High how to just honor Him during this time period. So don't stress about it. Let it be a joyful time, and we continue to learn each year. So I pray that your time is blessed. We'll share more over this time period if that's what the Most High has me do. But just wanted to share, just wanted to put something out and say blessings to you on this Sukkot. And may you and your family, you and your tribe, you and your loved ones have a blessed time of celebration. And may the Most High meet with you in a powerful way, and lift your ruach, and lift your spirit, and just give you more of Him. So blessings and shalom.